I had a beautiful girlfriend, I had the hot car, I had this incredible career. I was living the ideal life. I had it all, but I was absolutely miserable. And there was no point in continue on in that, you know? So I came out, it all went away, and I'm absolutely fine with that. What I gained was something even more special, which is the privilege of being able to be an honest person.
So that was a scene from a documentary called Translating Beauty, directed by Anita Ayres, who you just saw in the clip. Anita joins us now on our Cityline Pride special to talk about her transition journey.
Well, you know, in that clip we just played, you said you had the ideal life, you had it all, but you were miserable. So tell us about that time and about how you really felt when everyone looking at you felt like you had it all.
Yeah, it was a really interesting time in my life where, you know, I was doing these huge beer ads, like multi-million-dollar beer campaigns. And I'll never forget, my executive producer came up to me and she was like, is $15,000 enough to start? And I'm like, 15,000? She goes, no, a day. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do that. You know, I lived in a house in Toronto with Eric Lindros and, you know, Jeff Martin from the Tea Party. And so, you know, of course, I made all the mistakes that somebody who just got money does. I went and bought a Ferrari and had 600 bottles of wine and, you know, did all those sort of stupid things that you do. But, you know, I was hiding in plain sight. I used to say all the time, I'm hiding in plain sight. I could never even give any sort of little bit of femininity up in front of the boys there, because that would have just been a disaster, and I'm sure that it would have been really a tough time for me if I wanted to hang around there much longer. It got really difficult for me though, because I was living two lives.
Can you talk to me about the experience of actually coming out? Because you do say that when you came out, it all went away.
You know, I might have been a little naive in my thinking that when I came out, everybody would just go, okay, great, you're a girl now, and we're gonna get behind that, and it's gonna be, you just keep doing what you're doing. And it was absolutely the opposite effect that happened. You know, it was sort of, there were no reference points for any of these people I worked with. There was no reference points for me. I was sort of making up as I went, where I went in and they were like, you know, you better find something else to do, because it's not gonna work doing this anymore. And they were saying, well, maybe go do fashion, try doing fashion for a while. And I'm not a fashion person. I make really cute little Triscuit ads and really cute beer ads. I think it was just the way the world was at that moment in time. You know, female directors were far and few between. And certainly there were no transgender directors working in commercial advertising. That is for sure. So you pack up your desk and went home, you know, opened a bottle of wine.
Yeah, it would have felt horrifying, I'm sure, because there was no frame of reference. There was nothing out there for you to look forward to or feel positive about, but you knew, and that just shows you the depth of what you knew.
Yeah, and you know, and then after I get over the shock of all that, I was like elated, because I was finally like me. I get to like live the life I had envisioned for myself as a young person, right?
What is the biggest misconception do you think people have about the transgender journey?
You know, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about being trans is that, you know, you don't come out of the box perfect. It's gonna take some time to figure things out for yourself. And you're gonna have to do it maybe in a very public way. You know, taking the hormones, I was always like, oh, what will I look like a month from now? What will I look like a year from now? You're in the middle of a new puberty. This is your second puberty. Suddenly a breast, suddenly your body's changing.
Day 3 of super low voice.
Because when you see a trans person, you don't know where they are in their journey. And to criticize them when they're at their most honest and so vulnerable is just cruel.
There's that struggle with femininity, and I feel that that is a big part of the issue, like the plastic surgery and the pressures around femininity for trans women.
I've had a lot of work done, and I'm totally fine with that. I mean, like I say all the time, I got to the party late, and so I wanted to try and prolong what youth I have left as somebody who's on the wrong side of 50. And I think all women feel that way. They feel the pressure. You feel the pressure to be high femme all the time. And I just think the danger in that is that if we're all aiming for the same point, what happens to everybody else? You know, not everybody can afford to do those sort of things. And so what does that do to women who, you know, does that erase some women? Does that erase some trans lives? So, you know, this is sort of the subject matter of the documentary we just made, Translating Beauty. But, you know, what I learned from exploring that and in my own life is that, you know, plastic surgery may be seen as something kind of trivial, but for the people who go through it and the way that they feel about themselves, well, that's anything but trivial.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And